So I've gathered the supplies that we're going to need. This is 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I have a cup. I'm just going to use that to pour some of the alcohol in so that I can access it easily. I have a generous number of Q-tips, and this is really all we need to do the maintenance on our drive wheel. Now, when you are looking at your machine, you do have to decide the easiest way to access the motors, and each person's machine could be mounted differently. So I have an APQS on a bliss frame, and I don't find my motors hard to reach. So as you look at cleaning your drive wheels, you will have to decide the best way to approach that. So I have a super motor here in my hand, and I'm going to use it, explain a little bit more about the parts. So when you're looking at your motors, you're going to be looking at them from this angle because they will be installed on your machine. So while we have the opportunity, let's flip it over and look at what's going on here. This is the sensor wheel. This is tall, skinny wheel, and this is what tells the tablet where you are when you're quilting. Our sensor wheel is the main communicator in that. That's how it tracks our movement. This is the drive wheel. The drive wheel engages on the surface of your frame and on your carriage, and that is what physically moves your machine. So your X motor, let's see which one this is. This is my X motor. This one would be moving my machine left to right, and the Y motor will be moving it front to back. So you see this wheel right here? It's a very durable, great product. This is what we clean with alcohol when we're on the frame. So I would dip this Q-tip in alcohol, and I would be cleaning the drive wheel like this. Now the cool thing is that Intelliquilter has a built-in assistant to help us do this. When we go to utilities and we touch clean rollers, the roller will be moving nice and slow so that we can hold our Q-tip against it to clean any residue that needs to come off of the drive wheel. Your drive wheel needs to be super clean because it has to grip the surface that it's moving along. So different machines have different surfaces, different frames, but the main idea here is this is your sensor wheel. How are you going to take care of your sensor wheel? You might dust it occasionally. Look out for threads that could come down and get wrapped around the sensor wheel. And on your drive wheel, we know that we're going to use alcohol on a Q-tip. So now let's go to the real machine and put it into action. So this is my APQS Lucy, and I have standard motors on this machine. I'm going to show you right where I'm going to be cleaning, right down here. See that? That's your drive wheel. So I'm going back to the tablet, and I'm going to touch utilities, and I'm going to touch clean rollers. I'm going to dip my Q-tip in the alcohol, and then I'm going to hold the Q-tip against the drive wheel. I'm kind of moving it up and down, up and down. Oh yeah, we're getting some residue. And I'm just going to do this. I'm rotating the Q-tip to get to a cleaner spot. See? Can you see that? That's pretty yucky. This happens when your drive wheel runs along your frame. And if you do not clean, you will get obstructions. Now, when you are using Intelliquilter and you haven't cleaned your drive wheels, the drive wheels become slippery. Anytime that Intelliquilter knows that it tried to move and it didn't move, that's going to say, oop, there's an obstruction. So if you aren't cleaning your drive wheels on a regularly scheduled basis, you will probably have this happen when you don't want it to, like underneath a big quilt. When you look at your drive wheel and you give it a close inspection and it has a silver coating on it, that is going to be the perfect way to get an obstruction. Now I'm going to keep cleaning with this Q-tip until this Q-tip no longer has residue on it. I continue to clean until there's no more color on the Q-tip. All right, that's looking really good now. See, that's looking really good now. I'm going to go to the tablet and I'm going to reverse motor direction. Now the drive wheel is turning in the opposite direction, and I'll hold the Q-tip on that until I get it nice and clean. Very, very little debris. Yay, we're almost there. I have to do the same thing to the Y motor. This is my Y motor. It's a good picture. Up against the drive wheel, moving it back and forth. And then, of course, we need to reverse the motor so that it goes in the other direction. Looks really good. I'm going to say finished. And the motors stop turning. And now I'm going to go back arrow once and go into manual mode. Now my machine can be moved anywhere so that I can do maintenance in other areas. So see how easy it is? So now you know how easy it is to clean your drive wheels. 91% alcohol, Q-tips. You might like a small container to put your alcohol in so that it's easy to dip. Easy to dip your Q-tip in so that when you're under there cleaning, it's easy to do. So do this on a regular basis and you will not find yourself sitting under a quilt when you are getting obstructions and you know that you haven't cleaned your drive wheels. Now let's talk about the surface that the Intelliquilter runs on. My X motor runs along the edge of my frame. The Y motor runs on top of this carriage. This top of this carriage and the front edge of my frame need to be squeaky clean. I've seen a lot of different configurations because Intelliquilter is added to all the major brands. But no matter which machine you have, which frame, the X motor and the Y motor have to engage and be secure on your frame. So keep it squeaky clean. I'm going to get a paper towel and alcohol, and I'm going to really wipe both of those surfaces, and that'll take care of the maintenance for my Intelliquilter. Dipping in that cup that I have the extra alcohol in. Run along right there. And I will continue down the frame, wiping, cleaning. It's as easy to do when there's no quilt on the frame. I'm just going to let that dry, and then I am going to wipe along the top of the carriage where my drive wheel runs. And there you go. That's all you need to do to keep your Intelliquilter running great. Thanks for joining me in the studio. Be sure to give this a thumbs up, and a comment would be lovely. You're going to love your Intelliquilter and how easy it is to maintain. Be sure to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Bye-bye for now.